Welcome to the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast, transforming the way people think and work so their organizations can thrive. Well, hi everyone, and welcome to our podcast. I'm Ed Kless, and with me today is Joni Girardi. Joni is the founder and CEO of DataSelf, which helps organizations use big data and analytics to gain and sustain competitive advantages. He is passionate about how our lizard brains handle technology and business, and he works at the point where analytics, cognitive science, human behavior, and business all come together. Welcome back to the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast, Joni Girardi.
It's very excited to be back here. Thanks for having me.
Well, Joni, we ask everyone, why do you do what you do?
Well, every day I wake up with a mission, which is I see a lot of mid-sized organizations having a lot of pains with reporting analytics. And in a way, I tell, I'm selling report painkillers. If you have a pain with reporting, talk with us. And there are three main pains that people come to us. One is complexity. When you try to get data out of your systems, it's complex. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of people, a lot of tools. So complexity, it is a problem. And it is true. I mean, if you don't have the right skill sets, or if you miss some skill sets, if you're missing some tools in your tool set, it can be very complex. So complexity is one problem. Second is speed. When you press the refresh button, if it doesn't run under 10 seconds, guess what? A lot of business decision makers are going to make a decision winging it or waiting until they can. So speed is another complaint, another main pain point. And lately, especially with the pandemic, is access to information anytime, anywhere. From home now, of course, but sometimes if you're out and about and you get a call, get an email, got to make a decision, if you don't have access to the information, again, you have to wait until you go back to your home office, or you have to wing it. So those three main pain points are the things that every day I wake up to help people do better.
Fixing one of those three, or sometimes the intersection of all three.
Exactly.
All right. Well, can you give me a couple of examples of how you've helped some customers make better decisions recently?
Absolutely. One of them was kind of very interesting. We had this client last year that we acquired, and a few weeks ago, the VP of sales called me, and she told me this interesting story. About a year ago, before DataSelf, she went to the doctor for her yearly checkup, and she was in the parking lot waiting for her time because with the whole pandemic you have to wait at the car. And she got a call from one of the account managers with a big sale that she needed to give a discount at that moment for the guy to submit and see if they can get the deal, a large sale. So she was in her car. She got the call. She couldn't access her reports to see the customer trends, the cost of the raw materials that changed dramatically in their business. So she had to wing it, right? Okay, she came up with a discount that she thought, hey, it's a huge sale. She gave a discount she thought would be good enough. The problem was with the whole pandemic, some of the raw materials costs went up significantly, and they have a huge loss in that big sale, and they struggle to recover. And she told me that this year, about a year later, the same thing happened again with another client. One of the salespeople called her exactly when she was in the parking lot. But this time, because she had DataSelf, she could take her cell phone, open the report she needed, get the information, and give the right discount. So that's one example of using a technology like DataSelf enables decision makers anytime, anywhere. If they have internet, they can find information, answer their questions.
Great.
That's one example. The other one that is also, to me, it's very common in this industry is, and this is another client of ours, when the CFO moved to this new business, and he was asking for reports, and everything was slow, everything was complex, and he said, why is that? And then the IT team said, well, they went through the whole list of, why things were the way they were. And he complained with the other management, are you guys okay with that? And they say, well, that's how it is. He knew better. He knew that something was missing. Make a long story short, this company has a complex, ERP environment, and they needed a data warehouse. Data warehouse is a way to do things better. And actually, the IT people said they had a data warehouse. It was actually the server name data warehouse. It was not a data warehouse. It's just a server name, a data warehouse. So they had a lot of issues in their reporting platform that they thought they were doing well, but they were not. And eventually, the IT was open to talk with me to discuss what they were doing, how they're doing. I gave them a few, tips of things that if they would make some simple changes would have dramatic impact. And sure enough, those little tips helped them realize they were missing some skills in their team. And by themselves, they improved the process significantly. And eventually they realized, to go from where we are to where DataSelf can help us, we better work with DataSelf. And eventually, they hire us, and we took, refresh from being overnight to 10 seconds. Pretty much our goal is every report runs under 10 seconds. If you're not doing that, something is wrong with your platform or with your skill sets.
And you mentioned complexity, and then you talk about your lizard brain in your bio. And I'm just wondering, what are you guys doing with regard to presenting data to customers better so that they can make those better decisions? One of the things that I find challenging is columns of numbers for people who are never going to see anything in a column of numbers. They're really looking for something that's a little bit different. So talk a little bit about that.
So I'm a data geek. I'm a programmer by trade. And it's taken me a long time to understand the complexity of the reporting process as a whole. There's technology problems, there is processes problem, and there's people problem, right? In people, let's say the people who are reading the reports, right? There are different styles of people. Some people are very, they're driven by the numbers. They need to see by the penny. If a penny is wrong, they stop. Right? Maybe you look at $10 million, there's a cent that is wrong, they get stuck on that cent. It is what it is. And some others, they need to look at things at a very high level. So navigating this human environment where people have different styles, different preferences. Some people want to receive the report. Some people want to go to the report. Some people want to see only when something changes. There is not a single solution for everyone. The good thing is having a tool set that address different needs. You go with what works for most as a starting point, and then as you see a company having different preferences, different users, some people say, Excel. Excel is great, but it can be a hell, right? And sometimes people know we need to get people out of Excel. Yes, preferably, but some people, if you just pull the Excel out, they're not going to use whatever you give. So be cautious when you're making these changes in the reporting process, because you need to get from where you are today, which is probably a very painful process, into the next level, which is much easier, faster, smoother. But it's a journey. Don't accelerate. Take a step at a time. Hire someone that knows what they're doing from the reporting standpoint. And absolutely, I think DataSelf, we've been around for a long time. We're passionate. We're exciting. We can help companies understand where they are and hopefully go to the next level.
And Joni, as you know, we have an exit question that we ask all of our guests, and that is, who is a hero of yours, and why are they a hero?
Well, last time we talked, I had one. Now I have two on the technology side. So one of them continues to be Steve Jobs. And to me, I'm considering him a hero because of his less is more. He made popular the less is more concept. And the idea is technology is very complex. And in order for you to understand what you really bring to the table, you need to understand all the complexity, and then you have to simplify it. So you need to know everything first, then you got to shrink it to the simplest form so others can use it quickly. And I love the concept. We apply it significantly. Then comes Elon Musk, which is kind of the same idea. He mentioned in one of his talks about the SpaceX. No part is the best part. If you're taking a rocket to the moon or to Mars, no part is the best part, meaning you still need a rocket, you need a lot of parts, but if something is not working well, we, the engineers, tend to add things, tweak it, put another Band-Aid, make bigger, slower. No. See if you can change your whole process to eliminate the problematic part. So I like this idea of taking this complex, crazy world we live in and trying to simplify for the things that we really make a big difference in our lives. that's why both of them, they have a big impact in my life.
All right. And lastly, Joni, how can somebody contact you?
DataSelf.com has our contact information. My email is jgirardi.com, and I'm on LinkedIn as well as Twitter.
All right. Joni Girardi, founder and CEO of DataSelf. Thanks so much for being a guest again on the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Review and subscribe by searching your podcast player of choice for Sage Thought Leadership Podcast.